Ladies, I'm about to teach you how to be a top 1% woman. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 subtle ways to be a top 1% woman outside of all the stuff that we already know. Work on your health, work on your finances, get more resources, more connections, and more power. All of this stuff still holds true, but I cannot tell you how many women I've met that tick those boxes and will never be considered high-value women because you may have all those things, but the truth of your real character is in the subtleties, and this is what people don't really talk about. Now, the first step to being a high-value woman is never, ever, in a genuine, serious manner, in a genuine, serious conversation, refer to yourself as a high-value female. I see this time and time again. Women say that they're high-value females and go tell their boyfriends to do things for them while they live at home with their parents. Listen, I'm going to be very honest and real with you. There is pretty much no one in the whole blogosphere, feminist space, that is actually about it. I know their personal lives, I know behind the scenes, and most of these women are dating subpar men or don't have real respect or can't hold their own with the man that they're with. The reason is they are so busy screaming how high value they are rather than being it. You need to be, not do. It needs to be effortless. You think women like Beyonce or women like Michelle Obama in day-to-day conversations. Listen, it's one thing on Instagram when you've got a title and a theme for the post. That's one thing. Do you think Beyonce and Michelle Obama are telling their friends or guys they're dating or their husband, "I'm so high value, look at me"? No. You might say, oh, they're celebrities. Okay, let's talk about the influencer game, for example. You think someone like Jenna Kutcher, who is one of the only few people I genuinely truly respect and look up to in this whole social media war times influencer, that space, I can tell you right now, she's not sitting at dinner tables telling people just how high value she is. So in this video, I will use the terms high value and top 1%, but in day-to-day life, I just say simply that a woman is of integrity, a woman is of honor, a woman is of substance, and a woman has character. For me, that's how I would describe an exceptional woman, not the whole top 1%. Oh, I'm high value, look at me. I don't know, I just think all that stuff is us as lame, honestly, and I would call the top 1% simply the new Renaissance women. So in this video, I'm going to run through 3 concepts the new Renaissance women live by, and I'm speaking mainly but not exclusively to everything in life concepts to attract the opposite sex. Now, as I alluded to earlier in the video, these are the subtleties, but you still need to get your income up, you need to get your resources up, and in order to do that, I recently uploaded a video called How to Get Rich in Your 20s. This has been one of my most popular videos, and it has helped guide a lot of women to make their first income, so I'll go ahead and leave that YouTube video as the first link in the description. Now, one of the most important concepts that the new Renaissance woman lives by is making things look effortless. Now, they shouldn't be effortless. We all know that in order to accomplish anything in life, it takes effort and hard work, but everything should appear as smooth as possible. I'll give you a small example. I would say that 90 to 95% of the time when I'm going on a date, I order for the other person. Now, it's probably a smart idea to suggest it and ask, would you like me to order for the table? And I can tell you from experience that 99 of men would rather the woman just take charge, take the lead, and just order. So that is one small example of effortlessness. The experience of going to dinner is effortless, and he doesn't need to think about it. So I highly suggest you do the same. And in order to do the same, because you don't look like an idiot fumbling around looking at the menu, oh, what should I do? Before you go, study the menu, or if you're like me, I'm a creature of habit. There's maybe only, 5, 6 restaurants that I like going to. I know the menu pretty much back to front at this point. So either study the menu before you go, or just make it a habit of going to the same few places. Now, the next thing is the bill. I highly suggest as you ladies are coming towards the end of your meal, either you or him will go to the restroom. If he goes to the restroom, square away the bill very quickly. If you know that you're done with your meal, you're not going to order anything else, or vice versa if you go to the restroom at the end of the meal. Just square away the bill while you're going to the restroom. And once again, this is another era of effortlessness. There is no bill at the end. You fumbling for your wallet or trying to maintain a conversation while that's happening. Now, I know there might be a very small, stupid subsection of you that is going, wait, but if I do that, how do we split the bill? If you are still the sort of woman who thinks you should go on a date and split the bill with a man, please just unsubscribe to my channel. You don't belong here. You belong in the kiddie sandpit playing with the other children. You are not a woman. And I understand not everyone grew up with a Middle Eastern Russian background like I have, the way that I was raised by my father. The man pays for a bill on a date, and that's just not even a question. So I understand that maybe some of you raised differently. If that is the case, this is probably not the channel for you. I'm trying to educate and nurture the next generation of stand-up women, and for me personally, in my opinion, that is not a very stand-up thing to do, to split the bill with a man on a date. Now, getting back to the point of the bill, obviously, as time goes on, you can actually start doing things that are even cooler. Things like at certain establishments that you go to often, having the card on file so the bill actually never even shows up. Or for example, with me, my head of security is always on premises wherever I am, so I actually never even paid the bill. The bill is just taken care of and I just leave. And really, this is what men dream of. This is the stuff of fantasies. And by the way, I'm not saying that you have to be a billionaire here, because I can tell you right now, when I was dead broke, first starting my businesses, I still thought about this stuff. Of course, you can't do the whole flex of the bill doesn't come and all this stuff, but I mean simple stuff when I went on dates and we would just go for long walks. Because that's all I could afford, I would plan routes where I knew that there was a nice hot chocolate place or a nice ice cream place. So these are really $10 dates. But if you do it right, if you plan it right, if you make the whole experience effortless, then this is truly the stuff of dreams, of fantasies, of movies. This is stuff that men dream of. It's this effortlessness that everything just seems to be going right. And that's what he sees, and that's what really men want to see, is just effortlessness. And that's why men love all of these romantic movies and this rom-com and stuff like that. Obviously, he doesn't realize that on the backside, you're here planning everything and making sure everything goes in order, so things shouldn't be effortless, but they should look effortless. Now, effortlessness also reflects on how humble and under the radar you are. Never make a massive deal of something. No need to ever tell the man the price of the bill or how much you spent on some new thing that you bought. No need for all this stuff. The lesser you flex and the more comfortable you seem, you can still talk about yourself. You can still talk about your achievements. You can still talk about things that are going on in your life, but we all know the difference between talking when addressed or when the time is right, or just weird flexes that are incongruent, that are poorly timed, that the guy or even just people you're networking with are just kind of like, cool, I didn't really ask you. Need to remember in general to be the woman rather than telling him you're the woman. Now the next concept is you need to be a modern lady. Here's what I see right now. I see either the black pill or just like the men-hating crowd that are like the world is unfair and all this stuff, and they're just like so aggressive this way. And then there's the other end of the spectrum, which is just like the women who just watch way too much rom-com and don't understand that they will be trampled over by men. The men in the modern world will take advantage of them because they are too nice. They have no boundaries. So you want to be somewhere around, I'd say here, which is a little bit more on the skeptical side, but when the time is right, and by the way, be polite to be courteous, respectful to everyone, but going over the odds to be a true lady and give a man the true gentlemanly experience. Of course, you have to pick the right men. Don't just give that to anyone. So this means having old-school ladylike values, but understanding the perils of modern-day dating. As I said, there are so many men who set out to prey on nice girls. And when I say be a lady, some people think I mean to be a pushover. No, you need to understand how degenerate and crazy the modern dating world is. You need to look at his social media and understand realistically what kind of guy is he. You should be able to ask small fielding questions to him to see how he reacts in different environments, and from that derive realistically what kind of guy is he. So definitely, you need to learn how to have your wits about you, but once you have fully scoped out a man and assessed the quality of a man, and if that sounds bad to some people, assess the quality of a man, Well, you think a man isn't assessing the quality of a woman. It goes both ways. So once you've properly assessed the situation, don't venture into the men-hating territory because honestly, that's a lot of what the whole red pill community has become, they simply can't get over the fact that men in their 20s, especially early 20s, have certain privileges that women simply don't have. All they can do is just cry and think about how unfair the world is, so cut that crap and be a modern lady. Now, here are a few examples. Now, the first one is to let him pick you up and drop your home. Don't say, "Oh, I'll meet you there at 9 o'clock. Let him pick you up on the way." That's a genuine thing to do, and obviously, after, make sure he gets home safely. I've already discussed this, but let him pay the bill. The next simple thing, let him pull out the chair for you, and here is the next thing. And this might be a little graphic, let him finish. First, listen, if you want to get your numbers up and you want to have another notch in your belt, sure, just have sex. But quite frankly, if you want men that are going to stay around for a long time because they respect you, they're obsessed with you, they adore you, then you need to stop watching porn. You need to stop all this over-sexualization. You need to drop your ego and maybe learn a thing or two about male anatomy and the correct way to pleasure a guy. And once again, just a reminder, all the things that I just listed, if a man does not treat you with respect, if he is late, if he is on his phone all the time during your date, if he is all of these things, and you still do all of those acts and do it for a long period of time, even though he disrespects you, you are a pushover, you are nothing else, you are needy, you have no other options, so you need to tolerate that sort of behavior. If a man is nothing but respectful to you on time, listens, is not on his phone, has positive uplifting energy, and you do all of those things, you are a lady, you are the modern lady. So there's a very big difference. You need to understand that difference. Now, the last concept that the new Renaissance woman lives by, or the top 1% that I would consider lives by, is never getting comfortable. You need to understand that a woman who becomes comfortable is the most disgusting thing on earth to a man. And the funny thing is, he will try to make you comfortable. If you're in a relationship with some man, they will try to keep you in bed and cuddle and say, "Oh, you don't need to go to the gym, you already went 3 times this week," and all this stuff. You'll have certain men who try to tempt you with morning sex every morning, instead of getting up, training, showering, and getting straight to work. Instead, you're there having morning sex. Then that turns into, "Oh, let's have some breakfast and watch some Netflix." And by the time you're actually at your desk working, it's like 12 to 1 o'clock. So you need to acknowledge that men will constantly test you. They will constantly try to make you comfortable, and being comfortable is how you become complacent and weak. So I'm not saying never have sex, or never cuddle, or never have a morning lay-in with your partner. I'm saying that there is a time and place, and yes, you can do that when you deserve it, when you have accomplished your missions for the week. But I have seen so many incredible women put aside the top 1%. These are the top 0.01%, and they meet a man, and that man makes her comfortable, and then the man resents her. He doesn't respect her anymore, and the worst part is, at the end of it all, he just leaves her. So be proud of your situation, but never be satisfied with where you are. Always keep pushing. It's funny, a friend who's my business partner in one of my companies, he asked me to meet one of his close friends, a very successful woman, $100 million plus. And this entrepreneur, this woman, she asked me, "Hey, can I bring my cousin? She's a fan of yours and stuff like that." I said, "Yeah, sure." This girl was 14 years old, had started multiple businesses, so switched on, so humble, so well-spoken, so well-dressed, all of these things at 14. And she asked me for advice, and I told her, "Listen, because you have time on your side, there's no doubt that you will be successful. Where I will truly see your colors is if you will stay successful." And this is a very important message for all of you ladies. If you stay at whatever you're doing for the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years, you will be successful. That is not a doubt. I've never seen someone stay at something for a prolonged period of time with unwavering focus and discipline and not be successful. The real question and the real test and the real place where legends are made is once you are successful, what do you do then? Do you get complacent? Do you falter? Do you get comfortable? Or do you keep pushing forward every day? So that, my friend, is the last subtle concept that the top 1% woman lives by. So I want you to know that I'm watching from afar as a big sister of sorts, and as always, I'm rooting for you.